Hello, this lesson we'll be talking about orders of operation. I'm going to start off with a simple example. What if we see a question such as let me change back to black over here. If we have a question such as 3 plus 5 times 2 plus 4. Now, this is a very simple question. However, I've seen quite a few students probably do this before. They would go, oh, okay, I know how to do this. 3 plus 5, I can do 2 plus 4, and then I'm going to multiply it together. So what they do is they usually do this. They do the 3 plus 5 first, and then they would say that that is equal to 8, and then they need to multiply 2 plus 4, which is 6, and then in the end, they do 8 times 6, which is 48. Now, is that correct? Well, there are orders of operations that they didn't see. So in fact, no, this is wrong. There is an order of operation, and we're going to talk about that today. So you have probably heard of the synonym PEMDAS. PEMDAS. And what do they stand for? P stands for parenthesis. Let me just write it sideways better. Let me write it differently. P for parenthesis, and then we have E for exponents, and then we have M for multiply, we have D for division, and then we have A for addition, and then we have S for subtraction. Sorry, that doesn't look very nice at all, but you all know what this is, PEMDAS. There is another synonym that is similar, and I want you to remember this one. This one is called BEDMAS. B, let me give myself a little bit more space. EDMAS. It actually means exactly the same. Where B stands for brackets, BA brackets, and then E also stands for exponents. D stands for division. We have multiply. We have addition and subtraction. Let me just fix. Okay, I've just fixed it a little bit, make it look a little bit better and a little bit more consistent. So we can see parentheses and brackets are the same thing. These are these things. These are called brackets. These are called parentheses. Okay, so those are these. Exponents, we've just learned index notation last lesson. Exponent is the index, it is the power. Okay, and so for example, we have that 3 to the power 2, that's the exponent over here. Let me just put that in a square over there. And we have division, we have multiply, we have addition, subtraction. Now, the thing you would notice that is slightly different between these two is this middle part over here, where in PEMDAS, you see it is multiply first, then division, whereas in BEDMAS, it is division first, then multiply. Now, you may be wondering why they are swapped. So, which do we do first? You all know orders of operation means that we do in order of this way. Okay, so we're going to do parentheses first, whatever is inside the brackets first. Okay, we do whatever inside brackets first. And then afterwards, we would do the exponents next. Then, if you're used to doing PEMDAS, you would do multiply first, then divide, and then addition, then subtraction. But in BEDMAS, you see there is division first, then multiply. Which one do we do first? Do we do multiply first, or do we do divide first? The answer is it depends. It depends. Which one do we do first? We do in order. So it's going to be in order of left to right. from left to right. So if there is multiply and divide next to each other, so there are two operations, something times something divided by something, you would do in order of left to right, from left to right. If it's divide first then multiply, then you divide first then multiply. So let's now and then last you do add and subtract. So let's go back to our original example over here. 3 plus 5 times 2 plus 4. Let me just quickly copy it down over here. 3 plus 5 times 2 plus 4. We do not do the plus first. If you look over here, we need to do multiply first, and then we do add and subtract. You've probably learned this in grade 6. So the next step should be 3 plus, we need to do the 5 times 2 first, because that is divide and multiply first. So that will be in fact 10, and then you're going to copy down the plus 4 afterwards. And so 3 plus 10 plus 4, that will be 13 plus 4, which is 17. So that's 17 over here. Let's go through some examples of this using BODMAS, or using BEDMAS, sorry. I have a few examples over here. Let's do example 1. So I saved a little bit of time by just pausing the video and copying this question down first. So we want to evaluate this. First, in your homework, when you're doing these questions, you must copy down the question from the textbook into your line paper. So I'm going to do that first. Let's copy down. In my first step, I have 35 minus 10 divided by 2 times 5 plus 3. Now I'm going to go through orders of operations. I'm going to do multiply, divide first, then add and subtract later. Where do I see multiply and divide? I see that right here. There's a divide, there's a multiply. Do I do multiply first? No, you do it in order of left to right if there is multiply and divide consecutively. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 2 first. So my next step will be, I'm going to copy everything down, 35 minus, then it's going to be 10 divided by 2, which is 5 times 5 plus 3. Do I now do 35 minus 5? No. Now you need to do 5 times 5 because that is still multiply. Multiply goes first before add and subtract. So that's going to be my next step. 35 minus, that's going to be 25 over here, and then plus 3. What's 35 minus 25? Now, oh, by the way, before we move on, do we do 25 plus 3 first? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. You're supposed to do in order of left to right if it's add and subtract. We don't necessarily do add first. Sometimes we do subtract first. So in this case, since subtract is first, it is on the left side over here, then we need to do subtract first and then add. So 35 minus 25, so this will be the next step, 35 minus 25, which will be 10. So this becomes 10 plus 3, and so the answer is 13 in the end. So it may be a little bit tricky, but you will have to be very careful when doing orders of operation. Let's do one more example where we're going to use the brackets. So let's look at this second question over here. We want to evaluate 2 times bracket. We have a bracket over here, bracket, and it says 3 times 6 minus 4. So we have to do whatever is inside the bracket first, okay? We're going to do whatever is inside the bracket first. Let's first copy down our question. We have 2 times bracket 3 times 6 minus 4 plus 7. And so the first step, before I evaluate everything in the bracket, is there BEDMAS in the bracket that I need to do? Yes, I need to do times first, then minus. So that's going to be 2 times 3 times 6 first, which is 18, minus 4, still in the bracket, plus 7. And then my next step is I'm going to evaluate what's inside. So that's 2 times, what's 18 minus 4? That is becomes 14. So 2 times 14 plus 7. Do I do 14 plus 7 next? No, I do times first. And so 2 times 14 is 28 plus 7. And then lastly, you add the 7, that becomes 35. Okay, so these are the 2 examples that I'm showing today. We'll continue next lesson. There are some questions that I want you guys to do for homework today. So these are the homework questions that I want all of you to do. Question 1, B, D, H, and J, 2, A, E, and I, 3, A, C, E, and F. That is it for today's homework and today's lesson. I will see you all next time.